What does the new eclipse cycle mean for you in 2025? This year's powerful eclipses in Pisces and Virgo will shape our personal and collective journeys. I'm Kim Fairminer, an astrologer and writer, here to help you navigate the cosmic currents with clarity and insight. In this video, I'm sharing an excerpt of my 2025 year ahead forecast, where I explain the nodes in Pisces and Virgo, as well as discuss 2025's eclipses. If you love astrology, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a forecast. Now let's dive in. Because it's eclipse season in March, we get a lunar eclipse and a solar eclipse. They always come in pairs. Sometimes you get a third one, depending on the position of the sun and the nodal axis. So we're leaving the eclipses on the Aries Libra axis, which have really delved into those me versus we issues. And we're coming into Pisces Virgo, which isn't so much relationship focus. It's about the relationship between spirit and matter. So the true and the me node have moved into Pisces this month in January, as I'm recording this. So these sectors of the chart become the new focus of growth and release for the next couple of years, particularly when the dragon, you'll see on my screen here, the slide, the north node of the dragon is called Rahu in Indian mythology, and the south node is called Ketu. It's the same dragon. I'm a really sort of, big proponent of treating those two together. Like while they seem separate, like they're like intimately related, and we ideally need to deal with them both at the same time. So don't sort of, be thinking, oh yeah, you've got to move towards your north node and forget about the south node. Because that dragon's tail could come around and bop you in the head or bury you in a whole load of shit, if you're not conscious of it. So it's important to kind of have an awareness from an astrological perspective that while you're like munching your way towards your big north node goals, you need to just, periodically look back and keep an eye on the tail. So the north node in Pisces, what it's hungry for is imagination, fantasy, feeling. It wants to be kind of swept away with, like just the incredible vision that we have for what could be, the connection between us all, the unseen realms. Whereas the south node in Virgo is tasked with letting go of details, of perfectionism, of ideas of purity. So there's a certain fuzziness with the dragon's orientation across this axis. Pisces, when you think of a goal, much like Mars that we were discussing before, like, it's nice to know what that goal is, where you're going. But Pisces is a diffused energy. So although the dragon is moving forward, the goal or the destination is more of like a vague feeling or a fleeting impression rather than a specific outcome. And Virgo really loves to be specific. So we're being asked to trust, to have faith, to believe, and that's likely to be tested. So this Virgo side of the chart, you're likely to feel quite reluctant to do that. Virgo's a sensitive, sensible, and diligent sign, and it's got, like tangible skills for cultivating that experience. So letting that go is not something that Virgo wants to do, particularly when it sees across there. I was like, you don't even have a plan, Pisces. What are you doing? So oppositions, which you have every full moon when the sun and the moon are opposite each other, and when that full moon coincides with proximity to the nodal axis, that's when you get an eclipse, and that will be happening in Pisces and Virgo season. Here are the dates of the eclipses. So you might want to, if you've got a birthday around then, or you're familiar with your chart and you recognize any of these degrees, These will be important eclipses for you. So you can make a note of them. I will send the recording out. So, if you're not equipped to take notes right now, that's cool. You can check in and see what house and planets and points are being activated by these eclipses. So eclipses are usually a period of reactivity. The dragon awakens and it brings about an acceleration of situations which the nodal axis has been quietly working on in the background. The nodes are just points. There's like nothing out there in space where the nodal axis is. It's like a point in the path of the moon. But when the moon is there, whether it's new or which is a solar eclipse or at full moon time, which is a lunar eclipse, like that is when this dragon like awakens and brings about transformative experiences in your life. So the way I see eclipses is as a portal. Portal's a bit of a word that gets thrown around on the socials a bit, but they're really like an express doorway to leap into a new reality. So interestingly, the north node, that hungry end of the dragon, it encourages material gain and it's going to be in a spiritual sign. So there's this hunger for imaginative and spiritual success in that sector of your chart, while the south node in Virgo, the south node's more mystical and philosophical. So the growth there, and I kind of think of growth in like because spiritual growth often comes with loss. And it's not sort of materially tangible. So our, hearts may be broken open through, the loss of a job, a person, a pet. Like we have experiences of loss, and we tend to sort of focus on that first half of the lunar cycle, the growth, when all the good things are coming, when we're like working towards something. And that fading away half of nature's cycle is something that it hurts when we have to let go of something. Pruning a tree. Like there's lots of ways that we need to reduce, and I think that's a whole bigger part of what we're doing to the planet at this time, our disconnection culturally from that second half of the cycle, the waning half of the cycle, and all planets have waxing and waning cycles, not just the moon, and an acceptance of that and building our relationship with those experiences of loss brings balance as well as that spiritual growth there. So that's kind of something to think about. So eclipse time, I tend to stay away from the writhing dragon and let them do their work as they see fit. That could be my Pisces rising, having faith in the, benevolence of the universe, and a reluctance to directly intervene. If you're more of an interventionist nature, like perhaps you've got, more Virgo planets than Pisces in your chart, it's valid advice for everybody, I think. You can't just take a hands-off approach. But working both ends of the nodal axis between the eclipse cycle, like you don't, kind of like ignore all the other planets and just do, Virgo and Pisces wherever they are in your chart. But, know that there's going to be these peaks in the lunar cycle. Eclipses are part of the lunar cycle, the solar cycle as well. And just consciously engage with the themes that are coming up there outside of eclipse season, and then take a step back and see what the dragon offers to you during the eclipses. So you'll notice here that March is again active with the eclipses. Mars is only just direct, so still moving quite slowly in March. Venus is also moving slowly and preparing to retrograde. And there is also Mercury retrograde in March. So I think March could be a bit frustrating and like full of, it looks a bit chaotic in terms of these personal planets, the smaller, faster moving planets, and they're all coming together in a bit of a nexus in March. So if you get chaos in March, just kind of go with it. Eclipses open doors and close others, setting us on a new path. But what about what's shifting for your sign? Head to my website and sign up for my monthly horoscopes. You'll find a link in the description below. And if you enjoyed this forecast, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you'll catch all my future videos. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.